everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So in today's video we are going to be carrying on with the games room. So yeah, over the last few weeks we have managed to get all the new bookcases in. Well, most of the new bookcases, say, because we have actually got a couple more that will be going in here. In last week's video we got all of the console boxes up. We got the Sony shelves in, and yeah, we're making sort of progress. But so originally, before we moved into this house, and after we were accepted and everything like that, we actually come in and I actually measured this room out and basically done a whole plan on the computer as to sort of where the bookcases would go, what games would go into which bookcases, so it just made it a bit more a bit simple. But after actually getting the games in, there's certain areas that I'm just not happy with. One of them is the PS1, just because the sheer amount of room, I think with a bit of jigging we'll be able to get more shelves in there. So that's going to be our first port of call today. Also, the Game Boy shelf. So at the moment, in the bookcase that we've got the Mega Drive games in, I've got 3 shelves dedicated to Game Boy, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. And I just don't have enough boxed games to warrant the 3 shelves. So we're going to look at rejigging them, probably going to take some of the bits out of what's going to go in the centre bookcases, put them in there. And then pretty much we're going to just rejig the whole room. I think there's a couple of shelves that will stay the same. The Mega Drive section is going to stay exactly as it is because I am really happy with that. But I think pretty much the whole room we're just going to have out, reorganise, because the other reason for that is that if we reorganise now, we'll actually be able to get a couple more shelves in as well. So I think by what the initial sort of thing that I've looked at, I think that we should be able to get an additional Xbox shelf, an additional Xbox 360 shelf, an additional DS, 1 or 2 additional PlayStation. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Won't add any additional PS2, but I think we will get another PS3 in as well. So yeah, we are going to potentially be adding a lot more shelving in, and then as I say, we've still got the shelves that are going to be on the centre bookcases as well. So yeah, what I want to do today is just give the room a bit of a rearrange, and yeah, just get everything into what will be its final position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the GoPro, and we are going to make a start on the PlayStation shelf. So what we're going to do is, at the moment, we've got everything going down the bookcases, but I'm actually going to change that. So the top half of the bookcase here is going to be just PS1. The top half of these 2 bookcases are going to be PS2. Bottom half of this one is going to be PS3, and then I'm going to split the bottom half of this one, half for PS3, half for PS4, and then the bottom half of the other one will be PS4. The PS5 is going onto the centre bookcase. So yeah, we won't be looking at that today, but we are going to be completely rejigging this, because in addition as well, just below here, I've still got 3 of the sort of big bread baskets that we had, that we transported some of the games from the old games room, and yeah, they're filled with PS2 and PS1 games. I think I've got 2 or 3 bags full of Xbox 360 games, another bag full of Xbox games. So I just want to try and get as much in the room as we can, and then what we'll do is going forward we'll be able to essentially take away stuff that we don't necessarily really want. So if, for example, what am I looking at? I can't even see anything off the top of my head. There we go. SmackDown, because we don't like wrestling games. If in sort of a couple of months' time I get a whole range of PS2 games that I want to add in, then I can potentially take those out, put those into storage, and then literally just have the sort of cream of the crop in the room. So yeah, we're going to get everything reorganised today. As I say, hopefully we're going to add in, I think it's another, 4 or 5 shelves that we're going to be able to add in here today. I think the only place that we're going to be taking away from is going to be the Wii. So at the moment that's got 3 shelves. We're going to take that down to 2, but that's going to allow us to add in an additional DS shelf. So yeah, bit of give and take. But yeah, right, so let me get you switched over to the GoPro, and then yeah, we will get started on the PlayStation wall. Okay, so now I've got the shelves empty, we can finally reorganise them a bit to have, so I think in the plan that I put together, I should be able to get 6 just in this section here. So what we'll do is, tell you what, let's go bottom to top. We'll do it like that. So you can see here I've already put these ones in, because these were the ones that were going to go on this part of the shelf anyway. So I put that in there, and hopefully it will all work out the way I've planned it, because so far a lot of the things that I've planned for this room haven't actually worked out the way I intended. So originally sort of this bookcase was going to be down the other end. Obviously I changed that up, and then I think even the placement, so you would have noticed as I've been doing the room, I've got the Mario Wonder standee in the room, because originally what the plan was to have the middle bookcases situated here with the standee at the end, with the standee at the other end, and then my gaming chair this end. But now I'm in here, I don't think it's going to give me enough room. I think I'm literally going to probably have like 20-30 centimeters between the chair and the TV if I do it like that. So yeah, that's going to be something we'll look at either next week or the week after when we start doing the 2 bookcases. But I think there's going to be some changing around there as well from my original plans. So yeah, all fun and games. Okay, right, that's that shelf in. So let's get a row of games in. Now what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm just going to put everything in, and then I will sort of do the organising. So what I'm going to do is any that we can't get in, I will put to the side, and then what I'll do is I'll sort through everything as to sort of like to have the best ones in here. But yeah, for now, the plan is just to literally get the shelves set up as I need to, because then we can see sort of what we're working with. Okay, and then if I look here, I can already see we've got a clear run here. So actually, this setup so far is actually working out a bit better than how I had it in the old room, because there was a couple of shelves where I didn't even have, well, I suppose it's quite tight on that shelf. So yeah, I'll work with it. We'll see how we get on. So what we'll do is we'll pull this one down. Never know, might even be able to get an extra one in if I'm lucky, but I doubt it. Right, that one goes in now. Right, so this is the question I've got as well. So it's one that I've really been toying around for this room. Historically, through all the games rooms that we've had set up, I've always had the games towards the back of the shelf, and then sort of decorate the front of the shelves with bits and pieces. Should I change that up in this games room? So should we bring the games towards the front and yeah, just literally have it that the shelves are just for games. There's no sort of decoration or things like that, or maybe have the odd shelf here and there, so like one where we've got sort of Rule of Rose on display, or we've got yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, should I pull the games towards the front, or should I keep them at the back with some decorations around? I think some of the shelves I'm looking at, I think it would be better at the front. But yeah, let me know. I want it uniform. I don't want sort of like Xbox 360 to be at the back, PS1 to be at the front, and just a mix match. I'd like to sort of standardise it, so that like across the board we've either got them at the front or at the back. So let me know in the comments down below, what would you do? And yeah, we'll see what we do, because that will then be a whole other project that we'll have to take on. But yeah, it's one of the things that I've been sort of toying with for quite a while now. Do I want to sort of bring everything towards the front, or do I want to sort of keep it at the back and then allow me to have room to sort of decorate and maybe even sort of add some lighting if I decide. But once again, I've toyed around with sort of lighting for probably a couple of years now, because what originally I wanted to do was to actually cut a groove into the shelf, so that you can't actually see the light, and the light's actually angled. But yeah, once again, I am not sure whether I want to do that, or yeah, I don't know. I think for this, I'm going to need all your help as to sort of how we set this room up. Yeah. So let's get this one filled. And I think what I'm also going to do, so originally on the setup here we had the PlayStation demo discs up. I'm probably not going to put them in this shelf, not for the PS1 anyway. What we are going to do, we are going to keep the PS2 ones in, because we are actually trying to get a full collection of them. But I think for now, I am going to take the PS1 demo discs out, so that I can it actually gives me a bit more room to have actual games in. Right, what do we need? Talking of games, we need games. Right. There we go, there's that one. And we'll get this shelf back in. So we're definitely going to be able to get, so what we got, 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely going to get, well, I don't know. This might actually be a bit tighter than I was expecting. Let's crack on. As I say, yeah, we'll definitely get another 2 in here. I'll get another shelf, shall we say. So what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Let's have a look. So I swear I've worked this out right, and I swear it is going to get the full 6 in. Right, and then we're on to some new shelves. So I should have all of the, so as you'll see in this, I have already done the next IKEA trip, but that will be, I think that's going to be in next week's video, or I might, no. Do you know what, I'm completely lost at sort of what stage of the videos I'm at. So, but yeah, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have another video out where we are going to add the, I think it is in next week's video, because I think we're going to add the 2 additional bookcases in then. But no, what have I done with all of them? There. So yeah, I will admit this has been sort of very disjointed with regards to sort of filming this, but yeah, it is what it is. This actually, I will admit, setting this games room up seems to have been a lot more work than the last one, but I think when we set up the games room in the last house, it was a lot smaller. So the collection was half the size I think at that time we were hovering around the 2000, or just over the 2,000 games mark. But yeah, this definitely has been a lot more involved getting this games room set up. There we go. Right, so let's see if we can get this last shelf in. So it's going to be there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the shelf in so that we can see that it will go in. But equally, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm only adding 1 to the PS1. I thought we were adding 2. That's fine. Any additional space is going to be massively welcome. But as I say, we are going to. So we're going to have a big section here that we're going to update as well, because we're not adding the demo discs back in. Right, so let's get these pins in, and then hopefully there is going to be enough room. Yeah, I think we will be all right. See, I did work something out right, I think. But the big thing with this as well is that I'm moving away from the sort of the uniform shelves as well. So both in this games room and the last one, pretty much all of the shelves were on the same level all the way around the room. We're not going to have that now. We are going to be sort of doing the shelves to accommodate the games, not to sort of accommodate the space. And as I said, sort of like by doing that, we are going to add. So I think what we're doing, we're adding 1 here, 1 more over there. So I think physical shelves in the bookcases, we're only adding 2, but by reorganising, yeah, we're just able to get more in. Okay. Right, so that's that one in, and then hopefully we should now have all the room we need to get another good stack of games in. So I've got all of the PS1 ones down here. So what I am going to do, so what I'll do is off camera when I'm sorting out, I want to have a section for the Japanese games. I think we've got a couple of US games in here as well, and then as you'll see here, we're separating out the platinums as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and essentially sort the platinums out. So if I've got a black label, so for example, we've got Gran Turismo 2, Grand Theft Auto. I know I've got black labels of them, so I'm going to take those ones out so that the platinums are only games that we don't have in black label. And I think we've got a fair few that are that we've only got as platinums. So yeah, it's just trying to get as many unique games into the shelves, while also making sure that we're getting some good titles in there as well. But I don't think I've got any new. I don't think I've got any new PS1 games to add to the shelves, but I might be wrong, because obviously I've done quite a bit of filming before we moved. So they're all videos that will be coming up over the next few weeks as well. But oh, there we go. Right, these ones I'm definitely getting in, because I should have been on the first go, and that's my collection of X Rentals. So I absolutely love these. And it's really surprising actually, some of them. So what was it? That was it, Ridge Racer. So we've got Ridge Racer Type 4. Now to get that game normally, it's what, £15–20 game. I don't think it's that expensive, but for the X rental, and as long as it's got the actual X rental disc, they go. Last one I saw sold was over £100. So yeah, if you get the chance to pick up X rentals, always grab them, because as well as them being a lot rarer, I love these blockbuster cases. This for me is PlayStation, because when the first time I ever played the PlayStation, my cousin had rented one from Blockbuster, and I remember the two games that he rented was Alien Trilogy and Destruction Derby. So yeah, for me this is pure nostalgia. Absolutely love having these. I think the first one that I got was this one, which was Siberia. Now I've got no clue what the game's about, never played it. It does come with the manual, which is really good, which was really rare actually, because normally the game instructions were on the back of the box. But as soon as I saw it, I wanted to grab it just purely for the cover, because yeah, as I say, for me this Blockbuster cover is just pure nostalgia and I absolutely love it. But yeah, so let's get these last couple of ones in. So we're definitely going to be having a bigger PS1 presence in the games room, because I think in the last games room we had 4 shelves, so we're going to have a whole extra shelf. Yeah, look, we've even got the Thrill Kill disc. So this was the disc that I made up for the cancelled games video that we've done a little while ago. So I want to make sure that goes in there actually. Right, I think that's all my black labels. So what have we got? I need a couple more. Yeah, Alien Resurrection. The first game, or this is the first way to actually play copied games on the PlayStation. It's using the swap method. I will admit I'm not 100% sure on how you do it, but I know that there's something on this disc that will allow you to basically bypass the copy protection and actually play copy games. So I'll probably look into it a bit more, and I might do a video on it in the future. But yeah, I managed to come across that at the boot fair a little while ago. Alright, I think this is going to be our lot. Yeah, that one's definitely going to be going in. But yeah, so that is the PlayStation section. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just as I wanted. So yeah, that is going to be it. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to get all of the other shelves emptied out. I'm not going to do a voiceover. We'll sort of zip through those, and then what we'll do is get it all reorganised, so that we've got the PS2 in this top section here, PS3 down here, and then on these the first 2 shelves down here, and then with the PS4 taking up the remaining 6 shelves. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking with that, and I'll catch up with you once they're done. Okay, so that is the PlayStation wall, basically set up as I want it to be set up. So obviously I've got to go through and organise, sort out the games that are going in it, get it all alphabetised, everything like that. It's all still got to be done, but I'm going to do that off camera, so that it's not making this video too long. So yeah, as you see, we've now got 6 shelves of the PS1. We've got 8 shelves of PS2. We've still got 2 full crates of PS2 games down there. So yeah, PS2 is just massive. I think actually PS2. Not sure if PS2 or Xbox 360 are my biggest collections. I want to say PS2. I'm going to stick with PS2 and say that that's my biggest, but it is very closely followed by Xbox 360. So yeah, 8 shelves of PS2 games. We've then got 6 shelves of PS3, which is just short. I think I've got 14 PS3 games left in the box, and then that would have been the whole PS3 collection on the shelf, unfortunately. But yeah, we've got out. Equally though, there are some ones that I will be taking out. So for example, I've got 2 copies of Borderlands 2 in there at the moment. One is in slipcover, one is not. So I'll probably take the slipcover one out for now. And then, as well as Rule of Rose, I'm also going to put out. Oh, I'm off camera now. I'm also going to put the Ellie edition of The Last of Us in there. I think it's in this box here actually. Yes it is. So for now I'm just going to stick that on that shelf, which you can't actually see because it's off camera. If I just move the camera over, there we go. So yeah, there's that. Obviously with the PS4 we've actually got a bit of empty space on the shelf, which is good. We've probably got about a third of the shelf down the bottom there free for sort of new additions. Don't know, I might already be able to fill that, but yeah, we'll see in the coming weeks. And yeah, you would have seen that I did pull 2 of my collector's editions off the shelf, and originally I was going to put them in the PS4 shelf, but then realised they're actually PS5 games, so yeah, they'll be going into the PS5 shelf. And yeah, overall really happy with how this looks. I think I much prefer being able to sort of maximise the space, and yeah, the fact that we've added an additional PS3 shelf and was it 1 extra PS1 shelf. Yeah, really happy, and yeah, looking forward to getting them sorted. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to get everything moved back over to this side of the room, and then we are going to get started on the basically Sega, Nintendo and Xbox walls. So as I say, I know that we're going to be adding an extra Xbox shelf, an extra Xbox 360 shelf and a DS shelf. We're also going to be reducing down the Game Boy and putting in some more Sega consoles there. I think we're going to be putting the Saturn in that wall, and we might even be putting the Mega CD in there as well. I don't know. I'll have to have a look at what I've planned out. But yeah, looking forward to getting that started. So let me get everything moved about, and then yeah, I will talk you through a bit more how we're going to do it. But before we switch over to the other shelves, there is one more thing that we are going to be doing, and we're actually going to go on a game hunt. So yeah, another week, another game hunt. So yeah, I am going to be heading out to CEX. So what we'll do is we'll head out there now, and then when we come back, we'll have a look at the pickups before then jumping onto the other shelves. Okay, so that is our trip to CEX, and yeah, we did manage to get a couple of good pickups. Well, in the end, one good pickup, and that was Tony Hawk Ride on the Xbox 360. Now, the reason that I picked this up was for one reason and one reason only. I think it was last year or maybe even the year before. I've actually picked up the board that goes with this. It's all in the box, it's got everything there. It just didn't have the game. So yeah, I saw the game there. Every time I go to CEX, I have a look to see if I can see this. And I haven't. This is the first time I've actually ever seen it there on the Xbox. I could get it on PS3 whenever I wanted, but yeah, not being able to find the Xbox copy. So yeah, glad to have that and add it to the board that we've already got to make that complete. So we actually paid £2 for that out of CEX. It is complete with the manual, which is good. Looking it up online, just this goes for £5 on eBay. So yeah, happy to have that one. Then next up, I also picked up the Dreamcast collection on the Xbox 360 as well. But unfortunately, when I went to the counter and I got the disc out, and the disc was mullered, is an understatement. So they run it through their disc cleaner. I was like, well, I'll give it a go. Took it home, tried it in an Xbox 360, and it wouldn't recognise it. Wouldn't even play ball with it. So that went back, and yeah, I was a bit gutted because looking at the eBay prices for it, CEX were cheaper than what was coming up. But I did get a bit lucky because I managed to find one for just a couple of quid more than what CEX were charging. So CEX were charging £15 for it. I managed to get this copy off eBay, which is complete, for £17.23p. As I say, normally on average this was going for about £23 to £25 on eBay. So yeah, that's why I grabbed it out of the CEX. But I will also say that the condition of this copy is a million times better than the CEX one, in both the case, the disc, everything. So for that extra couple of quid, I'm more than happy, and yeah, really happy to have this. Sega Bass Fishing was the main reason I actually got my Dreamcast in the first place, and then I think actually looking at this, we've got 50% of the games. So we've got Sega Bass Fishing. I think I've lost my copy of Sega Bass Fishing, if I remember rightly. Gonna have to have a look when I set the Dreamcast stuff up. Gonna have a look, make sure I've got it. If I haven't, I'm gonna be getting it straight away. We have got Sonic Adventure, I know that. Space Channel 5 Part 2 we don't have, and Crazy Taxi we don't actually have on the Dreamcast. I think I have got it on the PS2. So yeah, really glad to have this. It's definitely one that I'm going to be playing whenever I get the chance. And then the last one that we've got today is actually a pre-order. And this is a pre-order from Super Rare Games. And this was pre-ordered a couple of months before the move. And I've been really looking forward to this arriving. I was unsure actually when it was due to arrive. I thought it was delayed, but when I went back on and looked, it was arriving just after we'd done the move. And that is Leica Aged Through Blood. So in this game, it's essentially I think a lot of people have described it as a Metrovania, but you are traversing through the levels on a motorbike. You're shooting enemies and bosses while you're on this motorbike. And yeah, I've seen countless people talk about it, and I know a lot of other people have picked it up in digital form. But yeah, when I saw that Super Rare were releasing a physical version, I immediately went on and pre-ordered it. So yeah, I've had this pre-ordered for a couple of months. Really glad it's finally here, and really looking forward to playing it. So as you can see, it's still sealed. So hopefully by the time you see this video, I would have been able to get the PS5 set up and some gameplay captured. But yeah, really looking forward to that one. Looking it up online, so I paid $35.99 from Super Rare Games, and I cannot believe what it is selling for now. So in a sealed condition on the PS5, it's currently listed for around £120 on eBay. So yeah, really glad I got in when I did. But yeah, absolutely over the moon with that. And yeah, that is all of the pickups for today. As I say, a bit of drama with regards to the Dreamcast collection, but it is one that I have had on my wish list for a while. So when I saw it in CEX, I decided to pick it up. And then obviously with the issues that I had, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get it off eBay. Then we've got it and I can tick it off the wish list. But yeah, with that said, that is, as I say, all the pickups. But we now need to get back to getting the games room sorted. So in this part of the video, what we're going to be looking at, I think I'm going to start off on the Mega Drive shelf. So we've got the 5 shelves of Mega Drive games. They're staying exactly as they are. I will be sorting them out off camera as well. But the Game Boy section down the bottom is going to be getting reworked. So the Game Boy, all the different Game Boy versions, so Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, are all going to be merged onto 2 shelves. We should be able to, we'll be adding an additional shelf in at the bottom for these. I'm also going to put the Virtual Boy games down there as well. Then the next shelf up is going to be the Sega Saturn, and then just below the Mega Drive games we are going to put in the Mega CD games. So yeah, really happy the fact that in this game room we're actually able to have a dedicated shelf for the Mega CD, and we'll also end up having a dedicated shelf for the Dreamcast as well. So yeah, really happy with that. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to get the GoPro set up, and then we'll start tackling the bottom of the bookcase. Right, so those bottom shelves are now all done. And yeah, very, very mixed bag for me. So where to start? The Mega CD. So when I actually looked at my plan, it was actually meant to be a double shelf with Mega CD and Dreamcast. But I remember what it was like in the old game room. So yeah, I have split those out, and I have to say I love the way that the Mega CD looks now. It's got a full shelf, and then what I've done is I've given prominence to Night Trap, Sonic and Snatcher, and yeah, really happy with that. Once again, same goes for the Saturn shelf, because I think in the old games room it was a bit all over the place, because the 3 plastic cases that we've got, so for one of the Strike games, FIFA 98 and Magic Carpet, they're all just slightly bigger than the standard Saturn cases, so they didn't actually fit on the shelf in the old games room. Now they do, so that's perfect. Then we get to the Game Boys. So you would have seen that I had one shelf, the shelf with the Game Boy games, I pulled towards the front, and I left the other one towards the back. That is purely me experimenting. They're not going to stay like that, as in sort of separate positionings. I don't know which one I like. I don't know how I'm going to set that up. As I say, leave your comments down below as to how I should set up the games room. Should I have the majority of the shelves pulled forward with just a couple of shelves here and there for sort of decorative pieces, or should I have them all towards the back? Now, yeah, I think when you're right up close to the shelf, having them at the back isn't a problem. I mean, as I was populating the PS1, I was right up against the shelf, and then the lower ones I couldn't see without essentially bending down. Now, yeah, I'm still something I'm struggling with. I don't know whether they look good or, yeah, I don't know what to do, how to do it. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Sort of, how have you got your games room set up? Do you have them at the back of the bookcase with bits in front, or do you have them pulled towards the front of the shelf so that it is just literally focusing on the actual games? Then we've obviously got the DS and the 3DS in at the bottom. So once again, they're another one where do we need to pull them towards the front, because unless you're actually right down on the floor, you're not going to be able to see what games are what. Switch, so the main Switch shelf I'm happy with, the ones that's literally just got all the normal cases on. Once we get to the other side, and we've got the big box ones and the sort of different size boxes, I'm tolerating of it at the moment. I think it's probably the best word to describe. So yeah, you'll see what I've done is I've taken the big box games, or the sort of the cardboard games, should I say, and sort of orientated them a bit different. Obviously, the Switch, the second Switch shelf was always going to be a bit of a difficult one at this point, because the whole idea is to have expansion space. So obviously, as we build up the Switch collection, we'll be able to sort of move more across the shelf. But yeah, for now, I'm not massively keen on it. But once again, it's something that we will be looking at and we will be evolving. Then we get onto the Wii U. So just like the first Switch shelf, the standard case Wii U games I think look brilliant, just as exactly as I want it. Then when we get onto the big box side of it, or the sort of the cardboard boxes, is when it all goes to pot, because with the tags across the top of the box, they're actually taller than a standard DVD case, so that then throws out the shelf alignment, which I can't move, because if I move them, it's then going to throw out the alignment for the rest of the bookcase. So yeah, as you'll see, I've literally put everything on its side. I've pulled the blue shell out of the Mario Kart 8 box. But yeah, once again, it is not a shelf I'm happy with, so that's another one that we're going to have to sort of toy about with and play going forwards. But now we are going to move on to, well, I think the rest of the bookcase is going to be quite straightforward. I think the only one that I've got put some thought into is the NES shelf, and that is purely because obviously I hate having these carts here. So these carts are getting moved into here, but it's a space issue, because at the moment I've got the 3 Mario games all in position in there. I'm hoping that if I take out the cleaning kit, so let's actually try it now. If I take the cleaning kit out and move that across, does that then give me enough room? No, it is just too small. Or is it? Let me take Mario 2 out. No, there we go. Got it. Perfect. So I can take that out. I'm not worried about having that on the shelf. I think for now that can sit up there. Perfect. Right, that is perfect. That's just how I want it. Yeah, not massively keen on having games on their side on this shelf, but it's something that I'm willing to live with, shall we say, because yeah, well, everything's on display, and that's the big aim for this games room, is that everything is on display, so I'm not having to move things and sort of put things to the side in order to get to games. So like with the PlayStation shelf, I can literally see all the spines, so I can be like, right, I want to play Grand Theft Auto on the PS1. I can just go, boop, right, brilliant, off we go. Not having to sort of move stuff out of the way and everything like that. I think that's partly why I'm considering moving everything to the front, because then it's going to stop me putting too much decoration in front of things. So if you look, so I don't think I'm doing too bad actually at the moment. So I think on the Sega shelf, we've got the 32X, which I am going to move. Actually, I'll do that now. I'm going to move that down. So at the moment, we've got a space between the 32X games and the last of the Mega Drive games. So yeah, the 32X can stay there for now. We've also got the Mega Drive Mini, which, once again, if I've got to put that away somewhere, I'm actually tempted to move the Mega Drive Mini permanently down to my office, because that way it's easy for me to just plug that in down there and play Mega Drive games. So I probably will be moving that down to the office permanently, and then that basically keeps that whole bookcase clear. Yeah, that whole bookcase is clear, apart from the 32X, which I can work in somewhere. Once again, the Nintendo shelves, apart from the last GameCube shelf, but obviously, once again, I've set things up like that because there's a whole load of empty space. But what we're going to do now is we're going to dive in. I think for now I'm going to leave the cart onlys, because actually I don't know, do we set these up like we did before so that these are on display, or do I just stick these in with the other carts? Obviously the Link's Awakening is going to have to move. I don't think it will, no, it won't fit on that shelf, so I'll probably have to put that on top of the Zelda standee that we've got. But yeah, I don't know, do we keep these carts out or do I put them away? Am I really, would I be devastated to not have them out? This setting up a games room lark is hard. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to leave them there for now. As I'm moving everything about, I'm going to have a think about it. I think as well, sort of, if we decide to go with moving everything to the front, then they will definitely go. So that would be an easy solution. But yeah, I think we'll leave them there for now. So what we're going to do on the top half of the bookcases, so we've currently got the two shelves just down here. So the two shelves above the Wii U games are going to be Wii games now. Then we're going to have these four are going to be GameCube. N64 is going to go right the way across. We'll keep NES up there, keep SNES there, and then that is the Nintendo bookcases done. And then all we do is to finish off, we've then got to just tackle the Xbox shelves, which I think they're going to be very straightforward. It's just going to be a case of just moving bits about, and as I say, we're going to add additional shelves in there. I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've currently got 8 360 shelves. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are going to have 9. So we'll have an extra 360 shelf as well. Yeah, there's no way for us to add a 9th into the PlayStation shelves at the moment, but that's fine. Right, so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Nintendo shelves shuffled about, and then what we'll do is we'll get the Xbox ones done, and yeah, we'll probably end up calling it there. But yeah, crack on, get that done, and then I'm definitely going to be calling it a night. Okay, so that is the Xbox bookcases now finished. So yeah, really happy with how these turned out. I think all that's left with the Xbox games is probably about half a bag for life of I think it's mostly, no, it's probably evenly split between 360 and original Xbox. One of the bags I looked at that I thought was just all original Xbox had a load of Xbox One in the bottom, and what I've done is I've put some of them on their sides on top of the other games, so I've actually been able to get all of my Xbox One games into the shelves. You'll see here I've also added some of the Xbox 360 games on their sides as well. And I think the only other change that I made from when I was actually putting the games in was on the original Xbox, I took out all of the demo discs and replaced it with sort of full games. But yeah, really happy with how the room's turned out today. So I managed to get all the changes that I wanted done, and as you've seen, we've massively increased the amount of space and the amount of games that we're actually able to get in the room. So yeah, I think all in all, a very successful day. But that is going to wrap up for today's video. But in the next video, we are going to be finishing off the room. So we are going to get the TV stand in, the TV unit, we'll start getting all the consoles put in. I'm probably not going to wire up the consoles in the next video. We'll just get them in so that they're sort of on the TV stand, and then I'll work all that out afterwards. I've got some rejigging to do on the bits down the end, so the set of drawers and some storage boxes, and then what we'll do is we'll get the two new bookcases in. That will then allow us to get pretty much the rest of the bits into the games room. So what I will say is there are some bits of the collection that aren't going in the games room. They're going to be going into my office, so that is like the big box, or all of my PC games, DVDs, VHSs, retro gamer mags, and all my sort of strategy guides. I've got 3 bookcases that are going to be going into the office. We're going to finish off the office in a couple of weeks. I want to actually get the games room sorted before we tackle that. But yeah, as I say, there are a couple more additions that we need to do in here. I've got to at some point try and get hold of the shelves for the console bookcase, but as I say, we've got plenty to do in the next video. So if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to get kept up to date when that video goes live. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye.